Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Making Multifamily Money podcast. Haven't done one of these in a while, but very excited to have Brian Harrington here to kind of share his real estate journey as well as kind of ask some questions to myself. How you doing, Brian?
Love it. I'm doing really good. Thanks for having me. A little later than normal, so I'm a little low energy. I'm kind of a yeller on YouTube, but no, I'm thankful to be here.
Yeah, no, and if this is low energy, then I'm very low energy. So anyways, Brian, yeah, we actually connected recently because most of your content is about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and we can kind of go on that later. And then a lot of my content is obviously, multifamily is where I made most of my net worth and most of my money, and I do a little bit index funds. But for you, what I found interesting was all your net worth is real estate and crypto, no stocks. Can you kind of just share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So right off that, like Bitcoin would be my index fund. Like when you talk about your portfolio of just how you have stack all your savings in index funds, and then you do the multifamily for real estate. Like my version of that is Bitcoin. So been doing Bitcoin since 2015. Pretty like, and I like Bitcoin for the philosophical kind of, I guess, like movement aspect of it being better than fiat money. Like I talk about that on my channel a lot. But then real estate, the way that we got into real estate was we bought a starter townhome, and then every time we moved up, we kept our primary, turned it into a rental, and like in Southern California, the appreciation on that, starts to stack up. And so what we also like about kind of that, I call it like a barbell, is like Bitcoin's super volatile. Bitcoin's super volatile, super new. People are still trying to figure out what it is. They still lump it in with other crypto. They kind of, all the random stories you hear of other crypto, not really sure about separating Bitcoin from it. But then real estate is kind of just that tried and true way, like the tried and true way to build wealth in the United States. So I like that mix of both of those things. And why I subscribed to your channel recently was because I think you do a great job of just like showing multifamily from like it doesn't have to be this big fancy random guru thing. Like it's just math. Like it's just math, and it's like understanding how to talk to brokers, and it's understanding how to underwrite, and it's just getting started and doing it. And so that's what I thought was cool. And that's what I've been from your channel, and I'm starting to dive in.
Yeah, I saw your most recent channel talking about like multifamily and Bitcoin's better than like a small business.
Well, okay. And truly off of that, like, and I was just talking to a broker about this the other day. I was like, look, it's not like, okay, what? Because I've been really trying to do my due diligence, and a lot of people, a lot of even Bitcoiners will tell me, they're like, well, why are you buying real estate? Like Bitcoin, goes up faster than real estate. Like, okay, yes, but like commercial, what I really like is the whole idea of if you make the net operating income better, you're literally improving the value of the property. And then that can literally translate to the type of debt you're able to get on the property, so you can increase value. Like value add multifamily, it's just math. There's a tried and true way for that. When I scroll biz buy sell and look at coffee shops or laundromats or corner stores or liquor stores, like there's underwriting that is not straightforward. Like that's not straightforward at all. And so much of that is there's not really even a brand to buy. You're literally taking over a lease and buying inventory, and then the old owner is like wanting some extra for what? Like because like a lot of them don't even have like a website or like an email list or a social media. Like they don't have all those things. And so you hear all the YouTube channels talking about how like, boomers are retiring, all these assets are passing down and all that stuff. And yeah, just the more I like think about all that, like I've gone and toured corner stores, I've talked to small business brokers, and the multifamily thing just makes way more sense to me than trying to do that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, before I went to multifamily, I was looking at laundromats, right? And then what I learned was the people who make the money are whoever owns the building. So you have to own the building plus the laundromat. And what happens is you want to basically sell the laundromat, but still own the building.
Yeah.
So that's how people make money. And when I kind of learned that, I was like, interesting. Didn't do laundromats. And if you try like restaurant business, most restaurant businesses fail with like minimal profit margins, and you're dealing with like employees. And with multifamily, like you said, it's just so simple. Like it's literally, in a way, you kind of have full control over your net operating income. You can increase the income, you can lower the expense, you can do both simultaneously.
Yes.
And once you kind of master that, it's literally just NOI divided by your market cap rate. Hopefully your cap rate goes down, not up. If it goes up, your value goes down. If your cap rate goes down, your value goes up. That you have no control over, but the NOI you have full control over. So that's why I pivoted from single family to multi once I learned that concept. And like you said, making offers, it's so simple. Like you literally, like today, I just got 11 unit on Zillow. I text the broker saying, hey, I own a 26 unit like 5 miles away, looking to buy more. So I'm establishing credibility, right? I own
Right.
apartments there already.
Right.
Just say, hey, send me the T12, which is your profit and loss statement. Send me your rent roll because I want to send that over to my lender to underwrite the deal.
Yes.
And usually they'll email it to me, and then after that, I'll just say, hey, send it to my lenders. In the meantime, as I wait for their feedback, are you open to doing seller financing if it's owned free and clear, 90 to 100% seller financing, or if you have some equity, are you willing to carry 40%? So I can do the 50, 40, 10 loan. So I'm casually throwing that in there because I don't want to come out seller financing out the gate. I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to be efficient here. Like I got my lender here waiting for them to underwrite, and I got 2 other offers. And if you're open to these 2, I can make more aggressive offers. Yeah.
And do you always go with text, or do you, because that's exactly the stage. So right now I have a small buy box on 5+ units, million to 1.3. I'm looking in LA County just because I like the idea of it being close to home. And when I check that budget, LA County is what came out. I also I understand the tenant relocation stuff in LA County and just how to increase NOI that way. But yes, do you always go with text? Because I've been mixing it up, phone, text, email, and I do the same thing. I'm like, hey, my name is Brian. I'm experienced on the single family side, looking to take on my first small multifamily acquisition. Just being honest up front of like, hey, this is where I'm at. And then could you send me the OM is what I'm doing kind of when I'm taking off of LoopNet listings is my kind of intro.
Yeah. So this is I bought both my apartments through direct mail, direct to owners. So if you watch my channel, I actually got everything off market, no broker involved. And I had the mantra for the longest time that brokers make you broker, right? Like it's built in, broke, they make you broke. So this is actually the first time where I would say I'm kind of passively looking for deals. Like I'm not as active right now, but what I am doing with the brokers at least is you see like on Zillow. So if they're posting on Zillow, they're more residential focused. So I'm trying to prey on that inexperience, to be honest. Yeah. Because the true experienced brokers will post on LoopNet or Crexy because that's where you typically will post it. But full disclosure, most deals on LoopNet, Crexy, Zillow, they're going to be overpriced and bad deals.
Yes.
Because if someone's posting 11 unit on Zillow, they're like saying, oh, it's $50K per door. Well, I'm like, that's how you evaluate single family, not multifamily. So the fact that they're selling like that, they're not in the commercial space.
So agree with you. So it's on market, which means what it seems like to me is that it's a seller that has a number in their mind. And this is what I've gathered from the broker conversation so far. It's a seller that has a number in their mind. They're choosing a listing agent based on whatever, like just knowing people or whatever. And then it's basically up to the listing agent to create the offering memorandum and tell as good a story with the number that the seller gave them as possible. Because what I've been doing so far is I haven't asked for T12 yet. I just take the rent roll, get the gross, and then I do 5% for vacancy, 45% expense ratio, get NOI. And then so far, I just accept the cap that they chose and apply that to the new NOI where I just mark up the expenses and mark up the vacancy. And that's the first number I send to them. And I'm kind of just like, hey, just did this based off 5% vacancy, 45%, this is where I'm at. And that's when and then off of that is when on the phone, I'm normally like, hey, are they open to creative financing?
Yeah. So it's quite interesting because right now I just been texting, right?
Yeah.
Because I think I'm just trying to fish for time. And I think these brokers are a little bit younger. So I think, and usually in my text, I will say, hey, if easier, feel free to call me. So I always lay that out there. But usually I'm asking for a T12, asking for the rent roll. And then I sent to my lender. And then usually I throw in there like, are you open to seller financing? I just to plant the seed. But then once I get my offer, so tomorrow I'll probably submit my 2 offers. So I know it's not owned free and clear. So I only got 2 options. I got traditional loan, or I got the 50-40-10, or the 60-40 potentially if I can get it low enough. I saw the T12. So at that point, when I submit the 2 offers, is usually when I'll call. But usually I'll send a text to see if it's even close. Because if it's so below, I don't want to waste anyone's time. And that's why I usually tell them too. So I already kind of ran the numbers on this deal. So for example, the 11 unit, he wants $800K. It was listed on Zillow. So I'm sure the owner has like about 70K per door, which is about right for Oklahoma City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 20K per door. And they probably chose this broker because the broker just said whatever to get this listing. Like they'll just say, yeah, sure, you can sell it for like 800.
That sounds possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds possible. So then now they signed with this broker, and then now the expectations are so unrealistic,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we come at that math approach to the broker, like they get it. They're not going to like discount our math, right? It's just math, right? It's nothing personal, but it's not what they want. So I literally ran the math. So he got about $9,000, close to 9,000 a month in gross rents.
Yep.
Times that by 12, and you can do your 95%, 5% vacancy, and then for me I do 50%, at least off the cuff.
Yep.
And then you have that number, and then you divide by 8 cap because I'm in an 8 cap market. So like my offer came out to be like 450, and you want 800.
Yep.
So out the gate, I already kind of know, okay, I'm like almost half of what you want. That's just a straight up loan. I get a conventional DSCSR loan. But if you want to do the 50-40-10 or 60-40,
how do you know that'll cover the DSCR? So you do that also? Like after you apply the 50% expense ratio. So you apply a 5% vacancy, then a 50% expense? Or you just do 50%?
I just do 50% to make it quick and dirty. Yeah. But like if your NOI, if your gross rents is 100K, right? I just 50% off the top. 50%. So it's 50K NOI, and I just do
and then
the
you use 8 cap because that's your market. So you have a standard cap for your market.
Yeah.
And then how do you know it covers DSCR?
Yeah, a great question. So at that point, let's just say for that 450 offer, I just would do the math. So if I offer 450, I'm gonna do 25% down, and then whatever is remaining, 70% is my loan. And my interest rate is going to be about 7.5% to 8%. And I'm going to amortize the loan probably over 25 years conservatively. Because depending on what bank you use, you can get 20, 25, or 30. So I split the middle at 25. And I just tell the guy, like, hey, like in order to hit this debt service coverage ratio, this is my offer. And this is my assumptions. This is my down payment. This is my interest rate. This is my amortization. And, this is my cap rate. Like, is there something off of my math? And a lot of times they'll just be like, oh, no, it actually makes sense. Right. Yeah. And then I'll just be like, well, you think they would bite on this offer? And then usually I'll just make it up. Let's just say 450 is my DSCR offer. If they do the 50-40-10, maybe my offer is 550.
Yeah.
But it's still below 800, which is what they want. So I do give both offers, and I'll usually just text like, hey, like, is it even worth me drafting a letter of intent, an LOI? That's how you make offers with multifamily. And then, because I said, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time.
Yep.
And they'll just be like, I usually know. So that's what I expect. So what I do at that point is say, hey, like if they change their mind, let me know. And if you have other deals, send them my way. I'm happy to make an offer that makes sense for me.
Yep.
So that's all I'm doing of this is I'm just trying to get to know the brokers. So that hopefully when they have a pocket listing, they send it to me first, knowing that I'll submit an offer. It may not be an offer that they like, but they know if I give Steven an offer or Brian an offer, we will make offers.
Totally.
That makes sense for us. So that's the reputation I'm trying to build. And that's what I kind of teach in my mentorship, right? As I say, hey, just make an offer that makes sense for you. They might slap you in the face, whatever. Make an offer, and then eventually someone will say yes if they're that motivated, eventually. Trust me, all the deals I made offers on, I put follow-ups in my Google Calendar for 1 month or 2 months to say, hey, just text them in like 2 months to say, hey, my offer still stands.
Yeah.
Your deal's still here. What's going on?
What time during the week? Because again, the other thing I like about your channel are just that you do a great job of like working